All right, there we go. Hello, family. Y'all, come on in. This is it. This is Thanksgiving week. I'm Chef Lorius, and this is Calibama Live. I am beyond excited. Y'all know, first of all, I'm going to stop saying I'm excited because I sound like a broken record because I'm always excited because I love what I do, and I love doing it with y'all. So, of course, I'm excited, but I'm double excited because this is Thanksgiving week, and everybody knows, I think, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. It's like the Super Bowl for those of us who enjoy the kitchen. It's the Super Bowl of cooking. This is it. I mean, everything that you've done all year, all that you've been working on, every new recipe has been leading up to this moment right now. Hey, Steve, I see you're on here. I'm so excited, y'all. We're gonna make sweet potato biscuits tonight with bourbon honey. I know, bourbon honey butter. I have been so excited about this that, like, how do I say it? Like, my mouth has been watering in anticipation of this all day. And I am so thankful we made it. Because, y'all, for a minute there, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it because I wanted these biscuits so bad. I didn't know what to do with myself. But anyway, all right, so listen, who we got on here? I see some YouTube folks there, so I know YouTube is up. I see Facebook, so I know Facebook is up. Hello, Tanya. If you guys wouldn't mind, do me a favor. Hit the share button. Told you last week it's free. I called them again. Still free. Hit the share button. It's still free. And listen, let me tell you guys this before we get into cooking. I want you to pay attention to my Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram over this week because I'm going to be posting a whole bunch of Thanksgiving recipes these next few days, okay? Like, they're going to be coming fast and furious. So I want you to get them. If there's something that you don't see that you want, hit me up, let me know, because sometimes I have a recipe and I just didn't think anybody wanted it for Thanksgiving, but they did. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be posting tons of stuff. Keep an eye out. There's going to be shorts on YouTube, reels on Instagram and Facebook. I'm telling you, I got you, okay? And I'm going to post tomorrow my coveted 10 rules for being a good Thanksgiving house guest, okay? I'm going to put that up there because the people need to know. And I want to be the one to tell them, so they ain't going to get mad at me. They don't know me. All right, y'all, hit the share button. Tell me where you are, cities and states, and we're about to make these sweet potato biscuits. Woo! Okay, so first of all, who has either had or heard of a sweet potato biscuit? Okay, let me know that first, because I was kind of shocked. I was talking to someone, and they were like, I've never heard of a sweet potato biscuit. And I was like, for real? So I figured first thing I would do is to ask you guys if you've had them before or heard of them. They're actually really good. And what I like about sweet potato biscuits is a lot of times, you know, we get used to the sweet potato pie and the candied yams, and they basically all taste, I mean, they don't all taste the same, but you know what I'm trying to say. Don't get brand new. You know what I mean, right? And the sweet potato biscuit, though, I like it because you actually get to taste the sweet potato. I don't put cinnamon and nutmeg in it. You can, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's actually a nice flavor, and it's really good with greens. I'm just saying. All right. So we are going to go over to the stove tonight because we are working here. I'm going to set up the overhead view. Are y'all ready to do this? Are y'all ready to do this? Are y'all ready? I need to know that the people are ready. Hold on, this mouse. I'm going to tell y'all something. This mouse right here needs deliverance. Who's going to pray the prayer over the mouse? You know we need a prayer every week of what in the world? Come on now. Ooh, she got the devil in her. Hold on, let me do it at the old school way. Do it like this. Go to the computer itself. There we go. All right, can y'all still hear me? Is my volume still good? You know, I'll be accidentally muting and messing up and stuff, and y'all be like, Lori. All right, we're going to start off with some flour. Now, sweet potato biscuits are a lot like, wait, can y'all hear me? Yeah, y'all hear me, okay. Sweet potato biscuits are like almost any other biscuit. You're going to start it like a biscuit. So also I'm going to basically be showing you how to make biscuits, but I'm going to show you how to put a little fancy something on it, okay? So I'm starting with 2 cups of flour, and I'm using all-purpose flour. I usually like to use self-rising flour when I'm making biscuits, to be honest, but I discovered I was out of self-rising flour. I'm going to have to get some before Thanksgiving. I got to do my big shopping tomorrow. Are y'all ready? Bring me some of them biscuits. Steve wants the biscuits, Jane. He said, don't let you eat them all. I'm going to do the best I can, Steve. He said, he over back there talking about, y'all know he be clowning. What we're going to do with these biscuits, starting with 2 cups of flour. I got to add some, usually I use self-rising, but today I'm using all-purpose because I didn't have self-rising. I thought I did. That's what happens when you cook a lot. Sometimes you run out of stuff you think you have. Hey, Miss Sappy, I see you. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Now, I use baking powder in this because baking powder helps it rise. Now, using self-rising flour will help it rise as well. But if you use baking powder, you get a really nice fluff. You'll see the ones that I made for y'all already. I put baking soda in them, and even though it's not self-rising flour, they still rise nicely. We're going to also put a little bit of baking soda in here because baking soda is this is the science of it, because we're using buttermilk. So you get the baking soda mixes with the buttermilk, and it makes it nice golden brown. It's really cool. I'm gonna learn my science words. That's gonna be my resolution for 2023 is to learn my cooking words. Okay. All right. Don't hold me accountable, but okay. Okay. And I see Erica. Hey. All right, y'all. And we're gonna also add some salt. I'm just gonna do a teaspoon of salt. Salt is very important. Now, as I said, if you were to say, oh no, I really want to do cinnamon and nutmeg, you could go ahead and put some in here. It's fine. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Jesus is not gonna come back any sooner than he already had planned on it. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So here we go. We're gonna take this. Now you can always use the sifter, or you can even use like the sieve. You know the thing that you put it in, you shake over. This is how I like to make sure all my stuff is evenly mixed. Either a whisk or a fork. It's simple like that. Everything does not need to be these complicated things. You know, that's why I be telling y'all, I'm gonna show you how to cook. I'm not gonna show you no fancy knife skills and all that stuff, but I'm gonna teach you how to cook. Okay. All right. You see how I mix that? That's what you want. Now, butter is the next thing that goes in biscuits. And I'm using unsalted butter. Now, the reason I'm using unsalted butter is because I think it's best to bake with unsalted butter, because then you make sure that you don't get too much. Well, no, you can control the amount of salt you put into your foods. That makes it up to you. If it's already in the butter, then just back up with what you add to it, because you don't want it to be too salty. But since I'm using unsalted butter, I added a teaspoon of butter. Now, this butter is frozen. Oh, Lord, y'all, me and this camera and these angles. I need to practice this too. Okay, there. Woohoo! I got it. Hey, Miss Willie. This right here is butter. Now, I freeze my butter before I make biscuits, because what helps your biscuits rise is to get that nice little pop of butter when the heat hits it and it goes whoop. That's what you want. So, step 1, freeze your butter. Step 2, grate it in. Now, you can cut it in. You can cut it in chunks in and do the pastry cutter thing or the fork thing. There's a whole bunch of ways you can do this. I have personally found that if you actually take your time and just use your grater, your cheese grater, and grate your butter in, it's going to coat better. And by coat better, I mean we're going to get this incorporated and coat it with all the flour, because that's going to give us those nice pockets that we're looking for. See how I'm doing this? I'm just going at it. Now, be careful, because this thing can cut you. And I'd hate for somebody to cut their hand and say, Lori told me, Chef Lori told me to do this. Don't blame that on me. So you see how, now, as I get closer, y'all see I start kind of slowing down a little bit? Okay, hold on. I'm going to look at y'all comments in a minute. I got to pay attention before I have another mess on my hands over here fooling with this, because this is very dangerous. But you can always, like I say, you really can just cut it up. But I find that it's easier to get the incorporation I want when I go ahead on and grate it, just like this. Ooh, and frozen is best. Whew, okay, that part fell in there. Hold on, I'm gonna take it out, turn it the other way. Frozen is best. You want it at least to be cold, but frozen is best. It grates better frozen, and it's gonna give you a better biscuit. All right, see that? I got it down pretty small, just one little chunk, okay? There we go, butter. Let me wipe my hands off, because now I got a buttery mess. That's actually kind of a cute little picture, y'all. Freeze right before for a hard freeze. What I usually do in terms of freezing my butter, y'all, is I actually usually put the butter in the freezer. I'm back. I had to check the oven. I usually put the butter in the freezer earlier in the day. Okay, now, all right, truth. When I was in Virginia and I was really cooking every time the sun went down-ish, I would actually keep butter in my freezer. And sometimes I recommend that. Just keep a couple sticks of butter in your freezer if you know that you're going to plan to make biscuits at some point. You know what I mean? I love biscuits, so I'll cook biscuits at any point. So I make sure I always have butter. So just keep a stick of butter in the freezer, or just put it in there earlier in the day. You just want to get it cold. And it's okay if it's not, you don't need it to be a hard freeze, but you need that butter to be cold. All right, now we're going to incorporate it. We're going to use our best kitchen tool. Your best kitchen tool are the hands God gave you. Now, when it comes to cooking, the best thing your food can do is catch these hands. Catch these hands. Just catch these hands. These hands right here. This is what you want to do. Catch these hands. Ain't that a song? Catch these hands. You can catch these hands. Where they say that at, y'all? They say catch these hands somewhere. Huh. But that's the best tool you got is these babies right here, okay? You want to use your your hands. I like using these latex like kitchen gloves, because it's cleaner. Big picture, it's just cleaner. And I like that. Now, you see how I got the butter in there? Isn't that pretty? I just have to stop for a minute and admire the prettiness of the butter and the flour, y'all. Oh, goodness, let me get these out the oven. I'm not going to show them to you yet, though, because we're not there. Y'all going to have to wait. Hold on. Ooh. Oh, yeah, they look good, too. I'm not going to show you. All right. Now, let's get in here. Hey, Wilson, how you doing? Here we go. Now, this is a little bit of a hand workout. It doesn't have to be a hand workout, but in all honesty, you can get tired of it. But just go ahead on and use your hands. And you see, all I'm doing is mixing. I'm actually pulling together the butter and the flour because I'm trying to coat the butter with the flour. I want this to look like peas. Remember, we talked about things looking like peas when we were making pie crusts? Similar concept here with biscuits. All right? Same reason, too, because we want our pie crust to be nice and flaky, and we also want our biscuits to have nice fluff and rise, right? Similar reason. Not exactly the same, but similar. Close enough for what we're talking about, right? All right, look at this. You see how this is coming together? Remember how before it was just flour and some butter shavings, we could say? Now look, you see how this is coming together? Now, doesn't this remind you of something else that we made? Doesn't this remind you of something else we made a few weeks ago? Pie crust. Now, notice what I'm doing here. I'm going to take my hand and give it a little squeeze. You see how it sticks together a little bit? And then when I do this, it falls apart? That's good. Now, remember I had that one big chunk of butter left? That's this piece right here. It's coated in flour. So I'm going to give it another go to try to get it down. Be careful again. Remember these gloves and the hands. And see, that's better. See how small that is? Sometimes you just have to come back at it. Okay? It ain't the end of the world. All right. You with me? Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me, family? All right. Be sure you share this video and tell me where you are. Sweet potato biscuits. Okay. Now, next thing we're going to do is make a little well. Okay. And again, this is basic biscuit making, but we're just up in the ante a little bit, adding sweet potatoes. Okay. So you make your little well in the middle there. You see that? Just a little well. Don't get all serious. It ain't that deep, but just one little well. Okay. Now, we're going to put some heavy cream. Oh, hold on. That's in the fridge. Because, again, this is about temperature as well. You want your cream, your heavy cream, or I'm using buttermilk, forgive me. You want this to be cold, ice cold. So what you want to do is put it into your measuring cup or something and take it out right before you're going to cook with it. Now I'm adding the sweet potatoes into it. Now I have roasted these sweet potatoes in the oven on 400 degrees for about an hour, just like you would for a sweet potato pie. Doesn't this seem familiar, people? Y'all feeling it? You're remembering? Yes, I knew you would. And then what we're going to do is add the sweet potatoes to our liquid. See there? See how I'm doing that? Can you see that? Can you all see it? Hold on. Let me go to the other camera. Let me go to the other camera. And generally when we're making biscuits, you're going to use, okay, here we go. Can y'all see that? See what I'm doing? I added the sweet potatoes and the buttermilk together, and I'm stirring them up. You want to roast your sweet potatoes until they're soft like mashed potatoes, so you can basically kind of like mash them, right? See that? Now they're mixed in. And then we're going to put this mixture right here. Oh, can y'all see that? Yes. Okay, good. Angles, y'all. Angles. I always recommend that you roast your sweet potatoes. You can boil them, but I promise you, you will get a much nicer texture if you roast them. All right. Now, usually in biscuits, we would use how much? About a cup and a half or so of buttermilk. We only used a half a cup because the rest of the moisture is going to come from the sweet potatoes. All right. So here we go. Now what we're going to do is give this a simple stir. Now, I do like the consistency of the dough The batter for sweet potato biscuits is better than regular biscuits because it's not quite as wet. You know, biscuits can be a wet mess sometimes, but the sweet potatoes, the consistency of them is different. So it looks a little bit more like this. You see that? And this is just a little easier to deal with. Now I've got a good basic mix. I'm going to go in with our good kitchen tool again, my hands, and just give it a little bit more. Just turn it around, make sure everybody's touching. Now, it's very important that at this stage you don't overdo it, okay? All we want to do right now is make sure everything's got some moisture. We want to make sure there's no dry flour, okay? So you see, now look, can you see this bottom here? I'm not sure if you can see it. There's a little bit of dry flour still. So that's why when I go around, I'm going to take and bring that up into, see, the rest of the mixture so that I don't have any dry flour. And it's one nice little mess, just like this, okay? And go through it. There we go. All right. You with me, family? You with me? Ooh-wee. Okay. Now, we're going to take, I'm going to use some parchment paper, and we're going to roll these biscuits out, okay? Now, the way I'm going to show you to roll them out is really, in my opinion, if you, well, I shouldn't say my opinion. I like to just use my hands and pat my biscuits out. That's what I should really say, okay? Now, I got a little extra flour here that I'm going to use too, okay? I'm going to open this up, my parchment paper. We'll steady it with some salt and a mason jar. Now, I'm going to put some flour here on the side, okay? This is just going to be to work with. You're going to have to do it on parchment paper. I like using parchment paper because it's one less dish to clean, okay? Y'all know I'm not crazy about dishes. Thank God I have people that live with me that love me. Thank you, mama. Shout out to my mama. Okay, hold on. Let me see. One quick question. Can you use canned sweet potato puree? Yes. Now, if you use the canned sweet potato puree, let's be careful. We're not talking about where they have whole sweet potatoes cooked. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not talking about that. If you do that, well, you didn't ask me that, so I'm not going to tell you that. If you get the puree, though, when you get your cup out, set it on a piece of paper towel, 1 or 2 layers of paper towel for about 5 minutes, because pumpkins and sweet potatoes have a lot of moisture, and you want that moisture to be absorbed and to kind of come out. So if you're going to get it out of the can, just make sure you put it on some paper, on a piece of paper towel for just about 5 minutes or so, and you'll see how much water and moisture come in there. Does that make sense? Jamie, hey family. All right, so now y'all see this here? This is our first little glob of these sweet potato biscuits. Now we're going to start turning it. Now here's the thing. When you're making biscuits, don't go crazy kneading, okay? Because what's going to happen, you need to knead it enough that they stay together, but you don't need to try to make a loaf of bread. Just use a little bit of flour to add to it. Now that I got it going. And all I'm really doing is folding it over. If you knead it too much, what's going to happen is you're going to develop too much gluten and they're going to be tough, okay? But don't just mix it and go on. You need to do a little work to it. But you see how I'm love kneading this? That's what this is called, love kneading. This is love kneading. And really, I'm just folding it in. I'm almost not even kneading it, you see? But you see how each time I'm going over, it's less falling apart. It's less unstructured. You understand what I'm saying? It's less unstructured. See that each turn? And I'm not using a ton of flour, extra flour, just a little bit extra flour. Just a little bit. That's what Aiden used to say, just a little bit. Okay, now once I get it here, ooh, see that? And now I personally like the sweet potato pieces in there. I mashed them up, but I mashed it up with the fork and stirred it. If you want it to be super smooth, then you just do whatever you keep doing until it looks as smooth as you want it. I'm just going to turn it one more time to make sure. All right, this looks good. So what we're going to do now is start folding it so we can cut them. And again, a little bit of flour. You're going to press it out like that. Turn it. See, we've developed just enough gluten for these to stay together and not fall apart. And this is the pat out that we're going to roll from. Now we're going to pat these out to, that's about an inch, 3/4 of an inch or so. A little flour on the top. And now we're going to cut them. Now, what are we going to cut them with? That's a great question. Some people like to use biscuit cutters. I do too. And I have fancy days when I do biscuit cutters. But today, in honor of Thanksgiving, we're cutting with a mason jar. All right. So here's our baking dish right here. I'm going to spray a little bit of Pam on it. You can also, if you want to, it's the other thing I do sometimes, just use parchment paper or just a little butter. You just need to get a little something on the edges so that it doesn't stick, okay? Down and up. Now, important, when you cut your biscuits, see that? Do not do this. You know, you go down, around, don't do that because you don't want to close off the ends. All you want to do, have a little flour up there, go down, back up. See that? That's it. Down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. That's it. And then go and take it. See that? See how you still want these edges to kind of have a little open? That's what you want. If you do that whole little twisting thing that it's not going to go. I mean, they'll still be good, but I'm just saying you're not going to get the prettiness completely that you want, especially on the sides. Now, here's the other reason we did not overmix these in the beginning is because look what do we have here? We've got leftover biscuit dough. So what do we have to do? Turn it again into itself. And if we had overmixed it to begin with, we would have nowhere to go. We would be making little rocks. Jamie can't wait to see how these turn out. Girl, me and you both. Okay, you see how I'm doing this? Now, give you another little tip. See, this time I didn't turn it over as many times. I just did like one or two because I've already done it. I'm going to put these close together like this. Down and up, down and up, down and up. Simple, just like that. Now, when you cook your biscuits, if they touch each other, they'll rise more. You know why? It's the power of agreement. I'm telling you, it's the power of agreement. You think I'm being extra. I'm going to stop here because y'all have seen this. It's the power of agreement. I think I'm being extra, but I'm not. When them biscuits get in there and they touch each other, one goes, hey, the other goes, hey, hey. And the next thing you know, they just glory. They go up. They go up before him. Yeah, I'm just telling y'all what I know. Okay. Now, the next thing you want to do with these biscuits before you cook them in the oven, put them in the freezer. Okay. You're going to put them in the freezer so they can get nice and cold again. Okay. And what's going to happen? I thought you'd never ask. You're going to get them out of the freezer. Okay. These we just did. These have been in the freezer for a little while. And I want you to see something. See that? These are frozen. Okay. There. See that? These are frozen. Okay. Whoop, whoop. Okay. That's what we wanted. You can loosen the bottoms if you want to, but you really don't need to. You can just take a little something like this. Remember I put that spray under there? When it heats up, it's going to finish loosening. There you go. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is take a little bit of that heavy cream or the buttermilk that we had. I got a little something in here. And you just want to brush the tops just lightly. Okay. Now, I'm using a little mixture of sweet potatoes and buttermilk right now because I just need a little something on it just to give it a little gloss and a little sheen. You know how you spray your hair with that sheen when we're done? Same thing. Same thing. All right. Put these in the oven. Very important when you're making biscuits. There's so many things to tell you. You want your oven to be hot and your biscuits to be cold. So what I usually do when I take that fresh right here, the ones we just made, and I put them in the freezer to get cold, I go turn the oven on then. I don't preheat the oven. I turn the oven on then to 425 degrees. By the time the oven heats up 15 minutes or so, my biscuits are good and cold. I can put them in the oven. And that's what I'll do. Take these out, top them, put them in the oven. You will cook them for about 20 minutes. Ooh, y'all, that thing was hot. And this is what's going to greet you. Say hello to my little friends. Now, listen, somebody says, can you care packages of biscuits are appreciated, accepted? Honey, you keep watching. Y'all, I've been telling y'all, you think I'm kidding. I got something in the works. Y'all going to go crazy for it. I promise you, I would not mess with you. But we're going to make this bourbon honey butter real quick. Look at that. Them things look good. You know them things look good. Okay. Whew. It's a little hot, but I don't have fingerprints no more. I needed them all up. Here we got a stick of butter, unsalted butter. Important. Unsalted butter because we want the flavor to be what we've created to be, and we want to use our own salt level to make it as strong as we want it. This is a local Texas honey I like. It's called Round Rock Reserve. It's bourbon barrel honey. Get any kind of honey you want, okay? Clover honey, bee honey, mama honey. I don't care. Jamie, honey, get you some honey, okay? And I'm gonna do like this, okay? Now this butter is super soft. It's been sitting out. See that? It's literally this easy. And all I'm doing, make a little infused butter. You can always just do, put some honey straight on the biscuit or something. But come on, y'all, let's be real. We want some biscuits with a little butter on it, don't we? Y'all know we do. And now I'm just gonna give this a little taste. See? Oh, oh my God. Hold on. I feel like Fred Sanford. It's the big one, honey. Oh my God, that's so good. I'm gonna put a little more honey in it because I'm sweet like that. Now, and also, we didn't add any sugar to these biscuits. Remember I told you we weren't gonna make these like just a quasi sweet potato pie or anything? Yeah, we didn't add sugar to the biscuits. So they're gonna have that good flavor in them. Oh my God, this butter is so good. I'm gonna put just a pinch of salt in it because I used unsalted butter, just a pinch. But there's enough sweetness in this butter that if you say, oh no, we want our sweet potato biscuits to be sweet. Oh, that's still hot. Look at this. Now we're gonna take this. You see how that butter is melting? I know y'all see it. Y'all salivating, ain't you? Look at that. Whoop. And don't get funny with it. See how I told you that spray was going to loosen up? That's what's happened. Look. I haven't even seen y'all comments yet because I'm over here doing the thing. But I know. I already know. Look at that. And then you serve a little butter on the side. I'm telling you can have this with your greens, your fried chicken, your whatever you want, baby. Now, go ahead on, y'all. I'm just going to give y'all a minute to finish what you got to say. Hey, Sarah. It is easy, Yolanda. It is. Now, I'm going to take one of these. Let me get me a paper towel. Ooh. Now, the rest of these, I'm going to freeze and cook on Thanksgiving. Which one should I take? I'm going to take this one. All right. And then let me get me a little bit of this butter right here. Oh, here we go. I should let y'all watch, huh? See here? You see that? Look. Look at that. You see that inside? I didn't over knead it. That's what I was explaining to you. I'm not putting all this butter on there. Stop tripping. Y'all quit. Look at that. Okay. Honey butter. Bourbon honey butter. He did it. He did. Y'all. Sometimes I get in this kitchen and I just get to cooking. And I say, Lord, what would you have me to do? He says, use them. And I say, yay, God. And you know what happens? This. Yeah. My plan was to freeze these and cook them on Thanksgiving. Y'all, these might not even make it to the day. Okay? Oh my God. Steve, I don't know if you're going to get one of these on Sunday or not, because I'll do my best. Family, Thanksgiving is here. I'm not hiding these from shame. Oh, no, sir. I pray you all have a blessed Thanksgiving. Couple things I want to tell you before you go. Don't go yet. I'm not through. First of all, cookbook. Whoop, 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 whoop. Order your cookbooks. All right. In here are your recipes. Now, I got collard greens in here. I got macaroni and cheese in here. I got black-eyed peas in here. I got the pie crust in here. I got everything in here. Keep your eyes open for my page and also get the cookbook, okay? Use the code Dallas when you check out. You get a special discount. Also, family, are you ready? I'm so excited. This is like my favorite part. Are y'all ready? I'm back on TV right here in Dallas. I will be on WFAA Channel 8 on Black Friday morning. That's the day after Thanksgiving, talking about what to do with all your Thanksgiving leftovers for breakfast, or lunch, dessert, all kinds of stuff. It's 2 segments, so you got to watch the whole show. I'm at the top of the show and the bottom of the show. Okay, so y'all, your girl is back doing what I do. Because what my bishop said, my pastor said, can't nobody do what you do like you do when you do what you do. Go ahead, girl, I feel him. So I'll see y'all next week. This is my happy Thanksgiving. I cannot wait. So y'all watch the segment. I'll have links posted as well. Go buy your cookbook, use the code Dallas, and I'll see you next week. I cannot wait to hear what y'all made for Thanksgiving. If you have any questions in the meantime, hit me up. I'll do my best to answer y'all because we tight like that. All right, family, I love you. I am grateful for each and every one of you. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Happy cooking.